Greetings all, welcome to a special Krusty Canuck. No, I'm not going to have any bells and whistles here today. I'm just going to be recording a video for the sake of my viewers and to get the word out there. So, past couple of days been pretty chaotic in Parliament, right? You know, Mr. Trudeau being caught with his pants down yet again. You know, the SNC Lavalin whole debacle and the investigation, and it being proven that he did a boo-boo. Bad ethics and what have you, right? Okay, well, we knew that back in 2015, folks. We knew exactly what he was capable of. Bad ethics on the Aga Khan Island, bad ethics on the people he's talked to, people he's screamed at, cabinet ministers, and of course, how he and some other influencers in his cabinet tried to coerce Miss Raybould into making a good decision. I think it was called let's have a deferred conviction, basically meaning let's pay a fine instead of doing some time. Must be nice to have that ability to defer any kind of prosecution. You know, let's say if I committed a crime and I stood in front of a lordship or a ladyship or the honor and I pleaded for deferred prosecution or justice, could I get it? Would I be as fortunate to get off as something like that? But then again, based on certain pedophiles that have been released out of prison, I guess I could. Anyhow, make a long story short, Potato is getting fried. He's getting deep fried. All right? His cabinet's sure to follow. Okay? So let's get a few things straight here. There isn't rampant white supremacy in Canada. So don't let those clowns tell us that there is. Okay? This is proof in the pudding, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Proof in the pudding that Mr. Trudeau does not care about Canada as a whole. He cares about SNC Lavalin, his buddies, his riding, a handful of Quebecers, handful of people from Ontario, and whoever else in his cabinet toes the fucking line. Okay? So, Mr. Trudeau and his groupies and everybody else who's followed him, I hope to God come 21st of October, it's only a couple months away, folks, that you actually make a solid decision on who is going to run this country. Okay? Who is going to make it easy? Who's going to do the job? Who's going to actually make the sacrifices? Because I really don't recall seeing any of these individuals make any kind of great sacrifice for this nation. Okay? I've known people in my life that made great sacrifices for this country. And I hate to say it, I had to bear a few of them. Okay? I've had to tell and assure some of the parents and family members at funerals and stuff what kind of great people they were and how they offered to do things and what kind of kindness they showed and what character they were, you know, as they lowered their sons into the ground. So when I look at these liberals, they're farthest thing from anything liberal. They tend to be a little more liberal, which I've heard on my podcast, which I've had some comments from. They tend to be full of shit. They tend to be arrogant, lacklustered. Their idea of leadership consists primarily of what they can find in a Cracker Jack box or in a bowl of cereal. You know, the whole environmental claim has been nothing but a fucking scam to take more money from you and from me and everybody else that matters in this country. Okay, and we all matter, ladies and gentlemen. Every Canadian citizen counts. Even people that are waiting to be selves, they count too. So regardless of what your personal agenda is towards Justin Trudeau or Andrew Scheer or Miss May or Mr. Singh or Mr. Bernier or anybody else who wants to throw the hat into the ring, we have got to elect people. Persons, doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, someone who actually has the moral high ground to do the right job, someone who's going to do something based on ethics and merit rather than how things look and how things smell. Fuck that. All right, let's start looking at people that want to do the job. Okay, this investigation has proven enough, and I'll leave links at the bottom of this video so you can see what I'm talking about. But for the love of Christ, if there is one, for God or whoever, like, I am getting so sick and tired of having to turn the news on and see the same old rhetoric, right? Nobody's weighing in and saying that he effed up, except for Andrew Scheer, except for Elizabeth May, and, of course, the opposition, but it's the election year. Where were all these people when he screwed up the first time with the Aga Khan, right? Where was the outrage in the streets? Where was the outrage when he lied to veterans? Seeing a lot of stuff online, and I put some stuff online too, right? Come October, let's make the right decision, okay? Let's make the right decision when it comes to who we're going to call running this country. What are we going to do if there's a crisis? There's rumors of a recession that might happen again. Who knows? I don't want to see that again. I like where I work. I like what I do. I like the life I have. Why? Because my wife and I, we worked hard for it. And we both know that you all worked hard for your lives too, right? I don't know, folks. I don't know what else to say besides, let's get rid of the turd. Let's flush the turd. Every other, abbreviation that's come to terms here in regards to Justin Trudeau, right? And his ham-pamby fucking cabinet. To quote my buddy Adam Daniel Menzies, the pint-sized cunt and her infinite wisdom. Foreign Affairs Minister trying to look after foreign issues, and yet she has the audacity to sit there and say, oh, white supremacy is so rampant in Canada. Because Canadians are getting fed up with your shit. I hate to tell you there, Krista Freeland, some of those yellow vesters out there protesting, not all of them are white. Some are black, some are Asian, some are First Nations. But like every other Canadian, they grew up with the land. They grew up here with hope, and they grew up here with the idea of freedom and prosperity. Justin, Bill Morneau, Freeland, Ralph Goodale, Mr. Bill Blair, and all the other clowns, you are compromising that. You're compromising that prosperity. You are compromising that ability. Every time you open up your mouth with your makeshift laws and your makeshift fear. So I hope the people that are watching, my fans, my listeners from the podcast and here on YouTube, I hope to God you make a good decision come 21st of October. Okay? And think about the right people that you think are going to do the job. Doesn't matter what party loyalty you have. The right people. People that actually want to sit in Ottawa and debate and discuss things and have open dialogue. Politicians that actually want to embrace and understand our history. Understand Canadian history and understand North American history. Understand their own personal history. It doesn't matter what ancestral lands you have or what background you have. It means nothing. We are here and now. Okay? Yeah, my background comes from Europe. Whoop-de-doo. I was raised here. My parents were raised here. My grandparents were raised here. Shit simple. We're Canucks. What can I say? Right? So come October, ladies and gentlemen, please, I'm not going to beg, but I'm going to say please, think about who we are going to put in power for the next 4 years or for the next 8 years, right? Do you think Sockboy is going to make a difference? He went to the NATO summit showing off his socks instead of actually saying, what can I do to better my country's military? What can I do to better my country's security? What can I do to better this and better that? Even when he had the audacity to say, I agree with what Mr. Dion said, then I don't agree with what Dion said. I was trying to protect Canadian jobs. Wrong. You were trying to protect your buddies and a handful of Canadian jobs. But you did fuck all when it came to what happened to Alberta, Saskatchewan, everywhere else in the country that lost work because of your funny ways and your axing the pipelines, right? How many jobs are you going to kill when you give Mark Norman a hard time? When he used common sense and pragmatism like any good service person would, right? You're not too bright, are you, Buckeye? Potato. I'll say again, when Miss Freeland was sitting there discussing how they called him Potato, it was not a compliment, Justin. It was an insult. Think about it. Okay? So now you're caught. And to quote all the pedophile hunters out there, you're done, bud. You're going to be done. You're not getting my vote. And I hope to God that he's not going to get your vote, folks. Let him go live on his trust fund. Let him go live the life of luxury that he never earned, that he was born into. Okay? And let that arrogance prevail and show of what not to do. Let that be an example of what not to do. I have a background in leadership training. First rule of it, achieve professional competence. Does he? Did his party? No. It's obvious. And regardless of what news source you follow, regardless of where you get your information, be open to it. Well, I do watch the mainstream media. I sit with my wife every Sunday. We watch CTV NewsHour. And come the fall, we'll be watching Question Period again. Her and I really get intense conversations in regards to what they're saying in Parliament. That's the great thing about our democracy. We have a parliamentary system where ideas can get back and forth every time. But every time I watch Question Period, or any kind of Question Period, when Potatoe and his cronies are sitting in Parliament, it's always hearsay, it's always rhetoric. They never answer the question. So, if we're going to have an healthy opposition, let's make sure they're full of people that actually give a shit about what they're saying and what they're doing. I'll leave more links at the bottom of the video here, but I think you'll catch my drift when it comes to what can be said and what can be validated and what can't be validated. Right? I don't know about you, but I'm tired of wasting my time with this clown. I'm tired of bitching about him. But then again, it's my democratic right, and this clown has hurt some people in my life. Some fellow veterans in Ontario still waiting for some benefits. Some friends of mine who have been screwed over royally because of the oil patch and the fiasco with the Trans-Canada and the Trans Mountain pipelines alike. So, you're seeing the results of this man's election. Whoop-de-doo, he legalized weed. Who gives a shit? Right? Who cares? He's also promoting the increase of our cost of living. His members are sitting there discussing how we have to get more tax to fight carbon. And throwing money at carbon isn't going to help, even though carbon's part of everyday life. But you want to get rid of our carbon footprint, then let's start picking on the countries that actually make a mess. Instead of picking on Canadian taxpayers, how about picking the individuals that pollute all the rivers in Southeast Asia? How about that? But see, then again, that's their countries. Right? Let them be. Let us be. Let us be Canadian. Doesn't matter what walk of life you're from. I don't care if you're First Nations. I don't care if you're Asian. I don't care if you're from India, Pakistan, Afghanistan. I don't care if you're from the Middle East. I don't care if you're from Africa. I don't care if you're from Britain, Germany, France. I don't care if you're European descendant. I don't care if you're First Nations descendant. I don't care if you're descended from a nation that doesn't exist anymore. We're all here together, folks. And regardless of what side of the political spectrum you're on, let's find the good one. Let's fight the good fight. Let's get these clowns out of office. Right? The average politician is making about $180,000 a year to do what? To sit and go, full? Or they're supposed to work for our benefit. Isn't that the kind of benefit that Oliver Cromwell wanted in England when he put together the parliamentary system? Now, I may be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But wasn't that the principle behind it? Is that why Canada adopted the parliamentary system? Because our British forefathers thought it was better? It works, does it not? I like to think it works. It's just who's calling the shots. So, to all the social justice warriors out there, to all the communists that want to be, take a look at what's going on in Hong Kong right now and Venezuela. Hope to God your proletariat smacks you in the face. Hey? To everybody that thinks Justin's doing a fantastic job. Really? Just because this old man did the pirouette behind Her Majesty doesn't goddamn mean Justin has the right to show off his socks. Okay? So, and a special hello to all my haters out there. Thank you very much for the kind and well-documented comments about how toxic I am. But if you're going to make a judgment on my work, at least look at my work. At least listen to what I have to say. Right? And yes, I guess you can say I'm a nationalist. But I used to call that being a patriot. And regardless of my skin color, that doesn't matter. Because I can give you a list of names of individuals who are not white and are just as patriotic or more so than I am. Food for thought. Anyhow, if you like what you see and hear, please subscribe, like, don't forget to click the bell, and I'll leave links to my donation pages and to my merchandise page. And remember, 30% of every sale and every donation I will gladly give to the Calgary Food Bank. Right? So not only are you going to help me supplement my income, buy some cool Crusty Canuck swagger, you're also going to help out some of the veterans who need it. All right, so that being said, take care, all the best, and I'll try to get at least a video and a podcast up every week. But if you don't want to see videos, then you can find me on the Crusty Canuck podcast at krustycanuck.podbean.com. Anyhow, take care, look after yourselves. Remember, humanity merit wins the day. Bye for now.